Hello fellow colorists, welcome back to the channel, J.I. Colorist. My name is Jody and today we are doing our first gem of the year, and it is going to be the January birthstone, which is Garnet. I thought we would start off with, I anticipated an easy birthstone, which was red. However, this actually led me down through a huge rabbit hole, and I have learned a bunch of information about garnets. I have just scratched the surface though, so if you are a gemologist or a person who really knows their gems, I apologize for my beginner knowledge, but as I go through the entire year of gems, I plan on learning a little bit more about gems and specifically how to color the different gemstones. So a few of my resources will be listed in, well, all of my resources for channels that I watched will be listed in the video description. They are gem channels, and I watched them so that I could learn a little bit more about garnets themselves. I assumed that all garnets were red, and boy was I wrong. Garnets come in a variety of colors, and most recent discovery in 2016 included a blue garnet. So garnets can be pretty much any color, and I've got some references to show you that. So start off with, I am planning on using this book, Adult Coloring Gems Volume 2 by Cynthia Cloter, but however, I do not have any faceted gemstones in this book right here, so I won't be using this book video. So what I have here in front of me is just a coloring practice sheet from Coloring Bliss, and it is simple gemstones. She's doing it with alcohol markers on this reference page, but I'm just using it for the shape, and I did a little practice here on one. I also have a sheet from Hubman or Hubban.com, and it is just all faceted gems, and it's just how when the light hits them, how they sparkle differently. So this is just a reference sheet that I've had for a few years, and I will be looking at that. I am also going to be coloring a little bit in grains of gold. There are just tons of different pictures with gemstones in here, and so that's kind of some of the references I've got going. I am going to be using polychromos pencils, and so let's get started. First off, how to tackle coloring a gemstone. Number one, you should try and gather some references, images of the stone you want to color. So on screen here, I will give you some reference pictures. One of the things you should ask yourself is the stone smooth or faceted? Because that will depend on the picture you choose. So a garnet is a cubic stone, so it's actually going to be faceted. So this is the page that we would use. When I talk about a smooth stone, I'll show you an example of that page. So this is the type of stone that I would consider a smooth stone, where it's obviously smooth all around, so it doesn't have any jagged edges, and it's not intended to sparkle when the light hits it like a faceted stone. So garnets are faceted stones, so that at first dictates to us what kind of shape we're looking for when we do pick a coloring page. It could be any of these shapes. Here I selected this one, and I did this garnet here in using polychromos, and I'll give you the pencil numbers. The lightest color I used was dark cadmium orange 115. My mid color was scarlet red 118, and my dark color was deep scarlet red 219. Those are the colors that I'm going to use today. You can also grab a white if you need to, and the white is 101. I'm going to do polychromos in this video. Next gemstone, I will use Blick Studio pencils. So we've gathered some references images of our stone. We've determined that our stone is faceted. I've chosen 3 colors for the stone. At least you can pick 4 or 5 if needed, depending on the size of your stone, but I've selected 3 for now, which we just went over. Now the fourth thing we need to decide before we jump in and start coloring our stone is where is the light source coming from? So is the light source coming straight from above, like my ring light is hitting it straight downwards, or is it coming from the side? Now I have colored this stone here with the light coming straight down, and you'll notice that because there is light both in the center and then also in the center of all of the faceted sides. So the light has hit from the top down and evenly dispersed or reflected within the stone itself. So there is a little bit of light on all of the edges, and they're all fairly evenly, not exactly even because it's refracted light, but I've tried to imitate that it's a little bit on all sides. So that's kind of the number 4 things you need to decide before we start coloring our gems. And to keep it simple, we are going to again do one with the light reflected straight down because that is the light that I'm dealing with right now. Okay, let's start off with a zoomed down, and we will start coloring this one here. And well, actually, let's do this one here. We'll do this one here, and we will start our section on learning a bit more about a garnet. Let me zoom you in. So to start off with, I'm going to start with my lightest color, and I am going to, so you can see this one in here too, I'm going to go ahead and color lightly in kind of circular motions this whole top area. And I'm going to do the top, and then I'll do the sides separately, but it's just nice light coat. And while we're doing this, I'm also going to go over and we're going to talk about the garnet itself. So now I'm taking my mid color, which is the scarlet red, and I'm going all the way from the edge to meet up with the light area. The first fact is that garnet is a group of minerals gemstone, and it's actually quite complex. Each color is a different chemical compound, but it is still in the group or family called garnets. It is a natural stone, and it is mined all over the world, which I found interesting. So there are mines found in Pakistan, Russia, Canada, Kenya, California, Sri Lanka, Czechoslovakia. So really everywhere. And I was surprised to find that we even had some here in Canada. So that was interesting. Okay, now we have the whole area on the outside. Now I'm going to come in with my darker red, and I'm going to start at the very edge and just work up a little bit. And really I'm just keeping it mostly on the very edge. And that's because the light is hitting straight down, and my darkest colors are going to be along the very edge. This is quite a large stone for a garnet, so I am going to come in a little bit further a little bit later. So yeah, so garnets are mined from the earth, and the hardness of the garnets, I'll put up some reference photos. The hardness is 6.5 to 7.5 on the Mohs scale, and the most common that we do know of is a reddy orange. So I thought they were red, but really truly red ones are more likely rubies if you've seen them. So a garnet is more of a red orange, but it can also be everything from a light orange to a green to yellow. So it's really a very versatile stone. Some of them will have inclusions, which means in the center they'll have like there's a horsehair, so it kind of looks like a horsetail, so it looks like it has a bunch of, in a yellow, it'll look like that inside. So that would be a natural inclusion in them, and those are quite expensive, as you can imagine, because they are special. Now, because this is the top faceted one, I'm now kind of coming in and curving the corners a little bit. So at first I just went straight around. Now I'm just curving the corner in a little bit and bringing the darker color in a little bit more. So typically, garnets are fairly easily purchased, but they you may not get all the colors at your local jeweler. So if you're looking for a specific color of garnet, you probably have to seek out a gemologist. And yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to come back in with my mid color. And I'm not going to take the mid color all the way to the dark area, but I am going to come back and pick up so that it blends in. Because I don't want to put the mid color, I want the dark red to stay dark, but I am going to blend this in. So the garnet is January's birthstone, but I was surprised to also find out that it was the 2nd anniversary gift stone. So I had no idea about that. So if you have a 2nd wedding anniversary, apparently garnet is represented there. It is also used for, like in the past, in the ancient times, it was used by Romans for signet rings, for doing wax seals. The soldiers wore garnets as good luck. They wore them to for safe return from battles. So there's lots of kind of folklore behind garnets. Okay, now we've come in with our light color. I'm going to color in a different angle this time. And I can take the light color all the way over the mid color as well to blend that in. And because the light is hitting from the top, it's kind of diffusing downwards. And I want to actually go grab myself a yellow orange, because I want there to definitely be the lightness in the center. So this is Orange Glaze 113. Unless that's a 5, it's hard to read. I think it's a 3. And just in the center. Okay. That's how I would leave the top for now. I can always come in with the darker color again after we have done the sides to deepen up the shadow in the, but for now we will leave the top and we'll go on to a facet on the side. Okay, the light is hitting direct, so the light is going to hit and refract out of here, so there will be some light. So I want to make sure that I've got some light, so just lightly putting in some our lightest color, just to make sure I don't forget about that. Okay, so I've just kind of reserved some area, and that was actually the orange glaze, which was our lightest color. So actually can come in with our what was our light color, which is cadmium, dark cadmium orange. If you want your garnet to be a darker red, then just your 3 colors that you select should be darker. So whichever ones. What I learned is that there's really, because garnets can be any color. So now this is the darkest red. I want to make sure I have a line and then a line on the bottom. And then this is going to fade up. And we can take our lightest color. Okay. And that's how I would do that. Let's start over here. If we had light hitting from a different angle, like it came from here, then you would have more shadows. So we're starting this with the easiest way, because let's just focus on learning how to color stones, and then we can get fancy later on in our series. You can put a little bit of segregation there. And this is our cadmium orange, our light, or second orange, I guess, now that we've brought in another one. Okay, let's bring in our mid orange and let's soften up some of these corners. So go over where it is dark and then soften up these corners. This is quite a large faceted side, and then we'll end up looking like that. Okay, that's how we're going to do it. If we continue this whole thing, it will end up looking similar to this. I did not use any Gamsol or anything on this. This is just many layers. This is just a thicker paper. So this is printed on a laser printer, and it's, I'm not sure how many pound paper, but it's not cardstock, but it's a heavier weight paper. Okay, let's grab our zoom out and let's grab our grains of gold. So now that we've seen how we're going to tackle the stone, let's pick a stone out. Now, again, we need to find a picture that has a faceted stone. So this could be that, but this also has a bunch of pearls on it. And so I don't really think that I want this picture to have a orange-red stone and then pearls. That's not what I'm going for. So there's this picture that has many stones on it, and we will come back to this page, but let's start with our series with the simple page, and we're going to start with this page, and what we're going to do is color this stone together. It's a faceted stone, and because it's a ready orange color that we're doing, I thought it would also kind of go well with a heart. So I thought that the stone worked for that. I'm going to grab some paper to put behind the page. So we are going to tackle the stone. Now, a few other interesting things is the stone garnet is good at reflectiveness, so it does sparkle. So it's a hard stone, fairly hard, so not quite as sparkly as a diamond, but it will produce quite a bit of sparkle. So that's where your white can kind of come in, or we can use like a gel pen at the end and kind of put some reflective sparkles on it. So that's good to know. To clean a garnet, so let's just start with, we're going to go back to our first three colors, and I'm going to start in the center. And this time the light is going to be coming from top down, but also a little bit more to the side. So we'll have a few a little bit different. So we're going to start with doing a light center. And this already has, Hannah Carlson has already kind of drawn an edge around the top. So that edge is where our darkest color is going to be. It's good to have your pencils sharp when you're doing gemstones. That helps a lot. And working in layers. There's no rush. It's colored pencil. So yes. So to clean, so they're quite sparkly. If your garnet is not giving you the sparkle that you want, to clean it, you can scrub with a soft toothbrush and just warm soapy water. So I thought that was an interesting cleaning tip, because I tend to have rings that get used and worn and grimy, so I do like to find out how to clean them. Okay, now we're going to go to our mid, and we're going to come inside that. One interesting tidbit was in as late as 1892, which is still a heck of a long time ago, soldiers used garnet in their bullets. So thought that was kind of odd. Crusaders used garnets as they wore them on their person to encourage safe return from battles. King Solomon was known to wear garnets, so they have quite a huge history, and I was like going down a rabbit hole for sure. So I'm bringing this all the way down because I see some white specks on the paper. Okay, so if I have the light hitting it from the top down, I'm just going to come in because there will be, come back in. As we get more comfortable coloring gemstones, our class will hopefully get a little bit more advanced in how we're doing it. But for now, let's just get a really nice gemstone. Okay, let's do some more dark and come up. The name garnet stems from the Latin name granatus or granatum, which is pomegranate. And that's because the initial garnets that were found were of the red variety. And yeah, so I thought that was kind of an interesting factoid. I'll give you some facts on the different colors and stuff. There's a YouTube channel learning about gems. Okay. I'm kind of leaving a little bit, almost like a little glowing heart in the center. And if we, at the end of this all, if we don't have it glowing enough, we'll grab an actual yellow, which is dark cadmium yellow, and we can just put it right in the center. There. Okay. So let's start over here at the top where we Now we're going to start with our darkest color. We're going to dark, and then we're going to jump to our lightest color and go all the way down. Okay, and we're going to gain here. It's going to be dark, and then our lightest color. And that's just because I'm trying to think of how the light is going to hit it and then come down. Now for the piece in beside there, I'm going to take our mid color and go down. And then I'm going to come back with our dark color just to make sure that there's, and there's not a, like there doesn't need to be a harsh line. You can kind of make it, you need to blend them in because the light isn't going to hit it and then stop being one color right away. It's going to blend in. So we're just going to switching between the colors. Okay, now the bottom of this stone has probably the darkest color because the light is hitting it the least. So we'll go okay, like that. Now I anticipate dark here and mid-tone. So garnets are, like I mentioned, a group of minerals and a group of gemstones. And they're very complex, which I was surprised. There's two main groups. There's aluminum, which are dark red, and then there's calcium, which are rarer and they're green. So that was interesting. They have a ton of different names. They have rhododite, which is a more pink. They have Mozambique ones, which are a deeper red, so closer to a ruby color. So just trying to alter and variegate a little bit how the light would come in and refract within the stone itself. Because there are inclusions, you could also in the center draw a little inclusion. We're going to keep this one with no inclusions, but that would be kind of cool. Garnets are 100% natural in case, and each different color is caused by a different chemical compound. So you can't alter a garnet and make it a certain color by adding heat or anything like that. They are naturally occurring different colors. So that was very interesting. So they're not man-made and they're not the color is not man-made. They're naturally that way. It's amazing what comes from the earth. Amazing. I'll speed up this process a little bit and get some more of this colored. Should note that because garnets are a cubic structure, you could actually, if you had a crystal page, and quite a few people were asking for crystals, how to color crystals, you could color a garnet as a crystal. So you could definitely have these colors in a crystal. And in fact, unpolished and uncut garnet is a very dull looking stone, and very much looks like a crystal. So the next time I do a crystal page, red will definitely be an option for me, which I would have not thought of doing before. If you have any areas that seem like they have too much of a harsh line, just take your lighter shade and blend down into it to get rid of those harsh lines, because you shouldn't have jagged lines outside of the facets themselves when you're coloring a gemstone. Okay, I'm going to do some darker on the bottom of these ones. And then we'll come up to the light. Okay. Now we take a look at the whole gem and just kind of go over it, make sure we've got the dark areas are still nice and bright and dark. If we've got any white specks, let's get rid of those white specks. We're not going to be using any type of blender. So this is in the Hannah Carlson books, it's great paper, so we can take advantage of that by just layering up. Okay, let's grab a gold gel pen. I'll grab a dual metallic one moment. Okay, we're just gonna put some gold along the edge of here to finish off that part, and then we'll add some white sparkle if we think it needs it. If you're lucky enough to have garnet as a birthstone, comment below if you have any, and if you if you have your garnets, what color do you have and do you wear it? Let's grab a white gel pen. Now, I don't want to ruin this to start off with, so let's first do it on our practice sheet, because that's why we have them. So, let's zoom you out a little bit. That's kind of frighteningly right in your face. So, if the garnet is hitting a certain area and you're trying to get some, let's get this gel pen going first. You can kind of make some sparkle. You can also just go along, but I don't, for a garnet, because it's faceted, it's not going to just have straight little lines on it. That's more as a highlight when you have a smooth stone. So let's get rid of that. So we're going to need to have some type of sparkle along one of the faceted things, faceted cuts. And this is why I don't use gel pens, because I don't have much luck. Let's use a silver one. So you'd want it to kind of be hitting so that it sparkles. So okay. So let's just, okay. Let's come back here and wonder how let's try a gold one. Yeah, it's a little less obvious, so we could use the gold, because I didn't want to bring in silver sparkle on here, and we can just, so it's going to be a lot less, it's going to be subtle than a white, which is okay. Okay, not really willing to go with white on that, just because I don't have much luck. There. Okay, that's how we're going to leave it. When you zoom out, I think that looks great. If you want to reinforce your dark areas along the bottom, just make sure you're not causing any lines, so we'll kind of blend it upwards, except for this one around here, which can be fairly defined because there's a actual ridge along the top. Lots and lots of interesting information on garnets. I am happy to have learned a little bit more about them. I thought that they were basically kind of like a ruby, so I have learned they are nothing like that. They are actually a whole group of gems on their own, and I have added garnet to my arsenal of gems that we can color in the future. I hope this was of some value to this week. Let me know if you have colored garnets before. Let me know if you color garnets this January. Post a picture on Instagram. The hashtag that we are going to do for our gemstones is going to be something as simple as 2024 gemstones. If you color something, post it to Instagram and tag me, and I'd be happy to see how you're doing with your first gemstone of the year. All right, thank you so much for coming along and learning with me today. I hope you have a colorful and creative rest of your week, and I will see you on Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye. Surprise! Just when you thought the video was over and I had already signed off, I have been working a little bit more on this page, and I decided that while you can see the sparkle from the gold, I thought, I wonder what it would look like if I covered the whole gem in glossy accents. So this might be a good thing, or this might be a bad thing. So if you want to see how the gem looks after I add glossy accents, then stick around for the next couple minutes. Otherwise, I'll see you back here next week, and this will be a surprise when we do the completed pages. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to cover the whole gem, and I'm going to go from the outside and then coming back in. And I'm just going to do a light layer, but as you know, glossy accents is a fairly thick glue type medium. And because this is a large area, I don't want to get bubbles. So I'm trying to leave the nozzle constantly within the liquid itself and just adding more liquid. Okay, I may speed this part of the video up. Taking a look around, make sure there's no air bubbles. And we have a good seal. I'll let that set and cure up, and I'll be back to show you how it looks once it's dry. Okay, the glossy accents has now had a chance to dry, and I thought I'd bring you up for a closer look at the gem. You can see the gold little accents in there, but they are a little bit harder to see now with the glossy accents on there. But if you're looking close, you'd find them. I do think that it looks kind of cool, and it looks definitely like a locket now on here. I look forward to seeing the rest of the page done. I did do the smaller beads on the chain in the same colors of red and orange, and then I put a little bit of glossy accents on those as well. You will see the completed page on my January 2024 completed pages video, and until then, I hope you're having a colorful and creative day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.